as you know very well, I'm going to speak on the topic web decay and internet archives. And in this session, I'm going to focus on two issues. One is web decay, and next one is internet archive. So as you know very well, the internet is the eighth wonder of the earth. Because of the internet today, we can communicate with any person across the globe. It is the network of networks. Of course, it's an information superhighway. And of course, we can say it is the ocean of information, because nobody knows how many computers are connected across the globe, how many websites are available, how many web pages are uploaded to the internet. So that's why it's the ocean of information. It's a global communication network providing a variety of information and communication facilities. You can send email, you can use social networking sites like Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, and many more because of this internet. The internet is a very complex and revolutionary invention of 1960s. It has played a very significant role in rapid access of information across the globe. The adoption of web-based technology for publishing information has increased the availability of electronic information sources over the World Wide Web. Therefore, the web is popular among the faculty members, researchers, students, and has been considered as an important means for locating, accessing, downloading, sharing the scientific information. The present-day researchers, students, as well as faculty members have been increasingly citing URLs, websites or web resources in their scholarly publications. So when we look into the use of web resources as references in scholarly literature, definitely most of the scholarly literature have been citing these websites in the reference list. The use of web sources have become common in all journal articles, conference papers, theses, dissertations, students' projects, of course, even in assignments. A plethora of literature is available on the use of web sources as citations in scholarly journal articles. So recently, we have gathered the data related to the use of web citations in scholarly journals, and we are so surprised to note that most of the articles have used web citations in the reference list. For example, one study was conducted in the year 2011 by Mardani, where 4,253 web citations were found in the reference list. That leads to 22.62%. So another study in the same year by Tarajini and others, where they found nearly 4,562 web citations are found in the reference list. And of course, we too conducted many studies on the use of web citations in the scholarly literature. In the year 2012, Manoj Kumar and myself conducted a study on the use of web citations in the scholarly publications, and we have found that nearly 18% of web citations are found in the scholarly literature. And in the year 2013, Saif and Bernard conducted a study. They too found nearly 9% of web citations are found in the scholarly literature. Okay. In case of Vinay Kumar publication, he has come out with the findings. Nearly 29% of web citations are found in the scholarly literature. So this clearly shows that today the web citations or web resources are playing a significant role in the scholarly communication, and we are heavily depending on the web citations, and we are using in the reference list. So there is a question: why do we use web resources as references? Why the faculty or the authors or the scholar community are using web resources as references in the reference list? Reasons are many. One of the reasons is the popularity of the web resources among the academic and scientific community, because recently the web resources or websites have become more popular among the scientific community. That's why they are citing these sources in their scholarly communication. And most of the articles today, they are available online. Most of the books are available online. Most of the dictionaries or encyclopedia or reports or even theses and dissertations and projects, all are available online. Because they are available online, we are forced to use those sources, and we are going to cite those sources in the scholarly communication. So that's why, since most of the articles and books are available online, we are citing those sources. And of course, compared to print sources, the web sources are so easy and access, and also to find information on online. In case of print sources, if I want to read a print source, I have to go to library and have to read that source. But if it is available online, definitely at any time, at any cost, I can read the text available online. So it is easy to find, and it is very easy to access the information if it is available online. And of course, it is available 24/7 for free of cost. So these are some of the reasons why we always use web sources as references in the scholarly communication. So meanwhile, the websites or web sources have their own problems. So some of the problems are, some websites simply remove as their website domain name expires. As and when the website domain expires, definitely the web sources will be removed from the World Wide Web. So this is one of the problems in case web resources. And another problem is that in some other cases, the web pages are removed from the web by the webmaster himself. So because of various reasons, the webmaster will remove the URL of the website. Some websites are designed with new file structures. So when they are designed with new file structure, definitely the file format will be changed, and the original file will not be accessed by the scholarly community. And some websites may move to new online locations. So the one website has its own URL. When the URL has been changed with the same content, the old web page may not be accessible by the people, those who are going to access the information. So these are some of the problems we face today with the websites or web resources. So another problem is the content may be removed from the web because the information is no longer relevant or even correct. That's why it has been removed from the web. Another problem is that typographical errors associated with while citing a URL. While citing the URL, there may be some typographical errors. If there is any single typographical error in the URL, that website may not be accessed by the scholarly community. So these are the problems normally we face in case of web resources. And another one is the server is made offline for maintenance. It causes a temporary inaccessibility of the web sources. A network problem at client side or at the server side is also another problem to access the website. So this disappearance of website or URLs, or you can say web resource, over a period of time is referred as web decay. So web decay is nothing but what? Web decay refers to the process whereby the web source disappears over a period of time. Of course, when we deal with a decay is a state of process of rotting or decomposition. For example, I have shown on in my slide, if you keep an apple for a couple of months, definitely it will be decomposed. Of course, smartness or beauty will be decomposed after several years. So this is how we can define decay. The same thing will also be applied in case of web citations. A web decay refers to a process whereby a web source disappears, decayed, vanished, or missed over a period of time that can be treated as a web decay. So in case of website, we have grouped as accessed and missed web citations. Here, accessible or active website. So what is accessible or active website? URL of the website is valid and it can accessible on the internet or on the World Wide Web using a web browser. So any website is accessed using a web browser, that we treat it as accessible or active website. For example, I think LIS Academy has its own website with the URL www.lisacademy.org. So if you use this URL and if you type this URL in the web browser, that will be accessed. So we can treat this as active website. It is not missing, it is not vanished, it is not decayed, it is active, because when I type the URL of this particular website, I can access. That's why I will treat this as active website. So contradictory to that, there are some missing websites, or decayed websites, or vanished website. So what exactly missing website? A missing website is one that returns with an HTTP error message when its URL is entered in the web browser or W3C link checker, any one of the link checkers. So a missing website is a website where I cannot access that particular website whenever I enter the URL either in the web browser or in any one of the link checkers. That we treat that as a missing or vanished or decayed websites or web resources. Of course, vanished websites, decayed websites, missing or rotted, they are synonymous to each other. For example, I designed a website when I was in Tumkur University, freewebs.com/KULISE. So it was maintained by me. So later I moved to Tumkur University. So a couple of months back, I was with more curiosity. I wanted to know whether it is accessible or not. So that's why yesterday I typed freewebs.com/police in the web browser, and I got this message, sorry, this page was not found. That's why this is called a missing web citation or missing web page or decayed web page, because it is not accessed whenever I enter this URL in the web browser. So this is called a missing or decayed or vanished website. Of course, when you see the literature, many studies have been conducted on use of web citations as well as percentage of decayed web citations which are used as references in the scholarly literature. If you just go through the list, you can clearly understand. In the year 2011, Mardini conducted a study where 18% of websites have disappeared over a period of time. 18%. And Tajadini, others have conducted a study in the year 2011, and they have found that nearly 34% of websites have disappeared, because whenever they check all the web citations which have been used as references in the scholarly literature, they found that nearly 34% of websites have gone. They are not at all accessible using a web browser or a link checker. Okay, and we too conducted many studies in this area. Manas Kumar and myself, and we found that nearly 26% of websites have gone, permanently gone from the World Wide Web. So Saifa and Bernard found that nearly 58% of websites have gone. Just imagine, when you cite a website as a reference in the reference list, and if it's disappeared, so it has a lot of implication on the scholarly communication as well as scholarly work. Because whenever I cite a particular article in my paper, that has to be accessed by the reader. Then only he can read and he can understand the concept written in that particular website. If it is disappeared, definitely it has a lot of implication on the scholarly community. And of course, Prithviraj and myself conducted another study by selecting some journals, and we found that nearly 50% of the websites have disappeared, have rotted. Like that, the literature clearly indicates that nearly 30 to 50% of websites have disappeared from the World Wide Web. Okay, so this is the list. So what are the implications of web decay? If some websites have disappeared or decayed or vanished, so what will be the implication on the scholarly community? So let us see. The user will not trust the web resources. Take an example of print source. If you cite any print source in your article, definitely it will be the author may get that particular article in one library, another library. But one website has gone or disappeared. So where to get it again? So that's why the user will not trust the web sources, and they will not cite even in the article. The user will not get the original information if it is disappeared. Okay. And the web sources will not be used as references in the scholarly communication, because whatever the web resource we have cited in the article, if they have disappeared, definitely the research scholar or research community, we feel that it is not necessary to use web sources or website as references in the scholarly literature. And last is, it has more impact on open access. So these are the implications of web decay in the scholarly literature. Okay, now let us see how to check the accessibility of the website. There are two ways, of course, all of you know very well. So one is directly enter the URL of the web source in a web browser. By entering the URL, you will understand, you will see whether this particular website is available or accessible or not accessible. This is one way of accessing the website using the web browser. Another way of identifying the availability of a website is use of link checker. Okay, so I will show how to use a link checker later. For example, here the URL link checkers are there. So URL link checkers are the tools they are used to verify for broken URLs on a website. There are various URL link checkers are there. I have listed only a few of them. W3C link checker, which has been used by various scholars. I too use this W3C link checker for checking the accessibility of the website in our studies. And another very important link checker is online website link checker. It's a dead link checker. So this is another URL link checker which we normally use to check the accessibility of the website. And web accessibility checker. So like this, there are n number of link checkers are there on the web. Only few I have listed here. You can use these link checkers to check whether a particular URL or a website or an online source is accessible or not. So for example, I have taken the screenshot of W3C link checker. So here there is an option to type the URL. If you type the URL in this particular search box, definitely it will check whether it is accessible or not. And there is an option check. Simply you click on the check option. So you will clearly get the accessibility status. So here we can clearly see that there is an error 4 not 4 not found. So this is the error occurred whenever I type www.freewebs.com/coulis. That shows that it is not accessible and there is an error in this particular web page, that is 404 not found. So HTTP 404 not found is an error that you can see in this particular screen. So another link checker that you can use to check the accessibility of the website, that is the data link checker. So here if you type the particular URL and you click on start check, definitely it shows whether it is accessible or not accessible. For example, in this case, data link checker, so I have typed freewebs.com/SAMPATH KUMAR. I had this website a couple of years back, and I wanted to know whether it is alive or dead or decayed. For that reason, I typed this particular URL in this search box. When I click on start check, I got the message 4 not found. So this is also not accessible, and it has been decayed. It has been vanished from the World Wide Web. That's why by using a link checker, you will come to know whether it is accessible or not accessible, and what exactly the error, HTTP error. So these two things you will get it from this link checker. So another link checker I have shown here, that is a dead link checker. So here the options are same. If you type the URL of any website, definitely you will get the message. Here also we have seen 4 not found. So this is how you can make use of a link checker to check the accessibility of any website. Of course, as I told earlier, there are two ways to know the accessibility of the website. One is use of web browser, another is use of link checker. Whenever we type the URL of a particular website in the browser, any one of the browsers, definitely you will get the message. But one difference is, in case of a link checker, you will get the exact error, 404, 403, 501, 507, like this. But in case of the web browser, most of the web browser will not show the exact error. Only they will simply display the message, sorry, this page was not found. So this is what the exact difference between a link checker and a web browser. In case of a web browser, it shows only whether it is found or not found, but it doesn't show what exactly the error. But in case of a link checker, that clearly shows the error with the web citation or web source. So these are the errors normally we see in case of dead web citation. Sorry, this page is not available. 404 not found, 404 error, 502 bad gateway, page not found, and many errors normally we see whenever we type a URL in the web browser. So what are the different HTTP error codes? Okay, so there are various HTTP error codes are there. One is HTTP 300. This code informs the client that the requested resource has different choices and all choices cannot be resolved into one. And another code is, error code is 301, HTTP 301, moved permanently. This code indicates that the requested resource has been sent to a new URL. I mean, the URL has been changed. It redirects clients to a new location for the requested resource. Another HTTP error is HTTP 302, moved temporarily. This code indicates that a new temporary location has been assigned to a resource. A server redirects the requester to the new location of the requested material. So HTTP 400, bad request. The request contains bad syntax so that the server couldn't understand the request. Okay. So another most commonly appeared HTTP error is HTTP 401, unauthorized. Few web resources require a username and password to process. So when we don't have a username and password to enter the URL, definitely you will get this message unauthorized. That is HTTP 401. And HTTP 403 is forbidden. This code indicates that the failure of operation for the request due to unreadability of a file or directory. And most commonly seen error is HTTP 404, page not found. This code indicates that the server has not found anything matching with the requested URL. If you type sampathkumar.info, if it is not matched with the query that I have entered into the W3C link checker, the error will shown by the link checker is HTTP 404, because this code indicates that the server has not found anything matching with the requested URL. So another error code is HTTP 410. This code indicates that the requested resource is no longer available on the server and will not be available again. 504, so gateway timeout. This code indicates that the internal servers are unable to receive an in-time response from the upstream server. HTTP 415, when a request is made for a particular media resource and the server finds it inappropriate. And last one is HTTP 503. This code indicates that the server is temporarily unable to handle the request made by the client. So overload on the server causes the unavailability of a server's response. Like this, you can see these type of errors whenever you enter a URL in a link checker if it is not accessed by the link checker. So what we have to do when a particular website is not accessed either by the web browser or by the link checker, what we have to do, because I wanted to read what is there in the website because it has been cited somewhere. I wanted to know what is the content of that particular URL, what is the content of that particular website. So when it is not accessed either by the web browser or by the link checker, any one of the link checkers, what I have to do, then I have to take help of Internet Archives or Internet Archive. So what exactly Internet Archive or archives? Internet Archive is a non-profit library of millions of free books, movies, software, music, websites, and many more. It's a boon for scholarly people where they can access decayed web citations, vanished websites, or rotted web pages using this web archive. So when it comes to the web archive initiatives, there are various web archives are there across the globe. Only few I have listed here. Australian's web archive, it was started in 1996. Government of Canada web archive, which was started in the year 2005. It is a national web archive. And Internet Archive, which I am going to speak after a couple of minutes. That's called a wayback machine. It was started in the year 1996 by US government. It's an international web archive. International Memory Foundation by France was introduced in the year 2004, and Japan Web Archiving Project Japan, so which was introduced in the year 2004. So these are the internet archivists mainly used to access some of the vanished or decayed web pages or online sources from them. So let us see, because I'm going to focus on internet archive, that is the Wayback Machine. Let us see what are the features of Wayback Machine and how to make use of Wayback Machine to recover the decayed or vanished web citations. Of course, Wayback Machine is an ideal tool to recover the decayed web citations or web sources, which was introduced in the year 1996, and it is a free online resource started by US government. It helps to build a digital library of web pages. It offers permanent and free access to researchers, historians, scholars, and general public. You can also save your web page in this archive, because after some time, because of the poor maintenance, your website may be lost from the World Wide Web. But if you save your web page in this particular web archive, you can access the same at any time. So that is how you can make use of this Wayback Machine for accessing the decayed web resources. Of course, it contains nearly 330 billions of web pages, unimaginable, 330 billion of web pages, 20 million books and text, 20 million books and text, 4.5 million audio recordings. Just imagine how much of information is archived or stored in this Wayback Machine. And 4 billion videos and 3 million images, and nearly many software, 200,000 software programs are available in this particular web archive. So this is the home page of the web archive. So as I have clearly mentioned, it is mainly used to recover the decayed web citations, and it has 439 billion web pages saved over a time. 439 billion web pages saved over a time. So this is the home page of Wayback Machine. For example, I wanted to know whether this particular website is available or not. That is freewebs.com SAMPATH KUMAR. So whenever I enter this particular web page, URL in the web browser, I got this message: sorry, this page was not found. What I can do, I can make use of Wayback Machine to recover the particular decayed website. Whenever I check the same website in the link checker, I got 404 error. So what I did, simply I opened the Wayback Machine. I typed freewebs.com/SAMPATH KUMAR. So it was archived. It was archived or saved 9 times between August 22nd, 2009 and November 6, 2018. Just imagine, I have lost my own website, but Wayback Machine has saved my web page so that I can recover my web page, because I have lost that particular web page which I have designed a couple of years back. So if you type the URL, that will show how many times it has been archived or saved between 2009 to 2018. If you click on 2018, so here on November 6, 2018, it was archived at 1342. Okay, it was archived. If you click on that, so you will get my web page. See, really, I was so surprised and I was so happy to see my old web page, even though I have lost from my laptop, because I didn't have any file related to my old web page. I was so unhappy that I have lost my web page. But when I used this particular web archive, I could recover my old web page, which was designed a couple of years back. So this is how you can use a Wayback Machine to recover a decayed or vanished or missed website from the World Wide Web. Okay, so this is the old website, and many studies have been conducted on Wayback Machine. How much percent of citations are recovered by Wayback Machine? And just if you simply go through the table, you can see easily. So in the year 2011, the same author and others conducted a study. Nearly 11% of web citations have been recovered by wayback machine. 11% out of 100, 11 missed or decayed web citations have been recovered by this particular wayback machine. In case of our studies by Prithviraj and Vinay Kumar, and we found that nearly 58 and 48% of decayed web citations have been recovered. The beauty of the wayback machine is it helps us to recover the decayed web citations, where nearly 40 to 50% of decayed web citations have been recovered by this wayback machine. And also another study by Saif and Loga, so where they found nearly 6.3% of decayed web citations have been recovered by them. So of course, recently my colleague Mr. Rupesh Kumar conducted a study where he found more than 70 to 80% of decayed web citations have been recovered in this study. He selected some Indian theses and dissertations where he has chosen some web citations, and he identified the percentage of vanished web citations and active web citations. Later, he recovered the decayed web citation using the same mechanism, that is the wayback machine, and he recovered more than 70 to 80% of vanished web citations using the wayback machine. That's the beauty of the wayback machine. Definitely, that will help any researcher, any person to access, to recover the vanished websites or web citations. So of course, using this, we have written a number of articles in Elsewhere, Emerald, Sage, Taylor and Francis. So thanks to wayback machine, because it has helped me to write more number of articles. Recently, 5 years back, we wrote an article in Journal of Informatics, which is having an impact factor of more than 3.5. HTTP page found. Within the parentheses, we have put not. Why? Because we could recover nearly 40 to 50% of decayed web citations from the wayback machine. That's why we have put simply not in the parentheses. HTTP 404 page found. Of course, some of the websites have not recovered. Anyhow, we could access more than 50 to 60% of decayed web citation. That's why we have put a title like this: HTTP 404 page found, recovery of decayed URL citations. And another work we have done and we have published in says bringing life to dead. Definitely we can give life to the dead, because this wayback machine help to recover the dead web citations from the World Wide Web. That's why we have given a fancy title, bringing life to dead, role of wayback machine in retrieving vanished URLs. And because of that, I could get more number of citations, and H-index has been increased. So thanks to wayback machine, because of that, we conducted many studies in different subjects with my students, and we could publish more number of articles. And because of this, I could get more number of citations. So thanks to wayback machine. And apart from that, here you can also see the earlier versions of the web page. For example, I want to know Tumkur how it was in 2015, how it was in 2016. If you want to see the earlier versions of the particular web page, you can also see here. So if you type any website, simply I have typed tumkur.ac.in. So whenever I type tumkur.ac.in in the wayback machine, I found that it was saved 231 times between April 7, 2004 to April 29, 2020. See, even the webmaster of Tumkur University may not have the old pages of Tumkur University, but a wayback machine has saved or archived nearly 231 times the web page of Tumkur University. So if you click on the 2014, so how it was in the year 2014. So on 7th it was archived. Simply I clicked on that, so I got this particular page. It was the web page of Tumkur University in the year 2014. So logo was different, and maybe different options are there compared to the today's web page. It is definitely different. So this is what the web page of Tumkur University in the year 2014. And I wanted to know how the Tumkur University web page looks now, April 29, 2020. So this is the web page of Tumkur University, it was captured nearly 231 times. So this is how a web archive, wayback machine can store n number of websites, n number of web pages in its database. Whenever a person requests for the particular website, it will recover and it will show the web page or website. And I was so curious whether LIS Academy web page has been archived in the wayback machine or not. So that's why yesterday I made an attempt to enter lisacademy.org in the wayback machine, and it was archived nearly 26 times between 2009 to 2019. Okay, I was so surprised. I think it was not there in the year 2009, if I am right. According to sir, I have to say. It was not there in 2009, but I don't know why it is appeared like this. From 2016, it might have started. Anyhow, LIS Academy web page is archived in this particular web machine for 26 times. I think maybe Shivram is handling, maybe he is the webmaster. Even if he lost this particular web page, nothing to worry, you can get it back from the wayback machine. It will be saved safely in the web machine. Whenever you want to see the earlier web pages, you can see from this wayback machine. So nearly 26 times it was archived. Okay. So is another option in the wayback machine is you can save any website manually. If you feel this web page, some X or Y web page is not archived in the wayback machine, definitely the wayback machine has given an option to save the URL of any web page in the database manually. So here there is an option, save page now. If your website, it may be personal website, or it may be library website, or maybe related to your institution website, if it is not saved in the wayback machine, the wayback machine has given an option to save manually. So go to this option, type your website, simply I have typed tumkur.ac.in. So you can type your library website, or personal website, or your institution website here, and click on the save page. Definitely that will be saved forever in the wayback machine. So this is another beauty of the wayback machine, where it has given an option for a user or a person or a webmaster to save his own pages in this database. So other web archives are Pandora. It is a national web archive for the preservation of Australian online publication. It is established by the National Library of Australia in 1996. So apart from wayback machine, so these are some of the very important web archives normally we use to recover web citations in our studies. It has been built in collaboration with the Australian state libraries and cultural collection organizations. So this is the web page of Pandora. Okay, another very important web archive is website. So the features are most similar, but the number of web pages saved in these may vary from one web archive to another web archive. So another very important web archive is time travel. So here we can search whether it is archived or not archived. Simply have typed freewebs.com/SAMPATH KUMAR. So it was not archived in time travel, where it was archived in wayback machine. So compared to all these, wayback machine has stored n number of pages and websites. That's why most of the researchers have used this wayback machine as a tool to recover inaccessed or decayed web citations or web sources. So one thing is, so while citing a website, you want to be very careful. Okay. So the citations to web content should include full bibliographical information. While citing any URL or a website, we have to follow some set of standards. Okay, we have to follow some style manuals. Please give the detailed information of the website. Don't simply type www.something. So give the detailed information. It may be author, it may be a publisher, it may be the date of access. Everything must be clearly given so that it can be accessed by using different keywords. Author should test web source for their availability, because before citing any website in the reference list, first we have to check whether it is accessible or not accessible. If it is not accessible, what we have to do, we have to make use of the wayback machine to recover that decayed web citation. Then we have to cite in our reference list. That's what we have to do as a responsible author of an article. Webmaster should not use lengthy URLs while creating a web resources, because we have found that the character length or even the path length will lead to a more decay. If the character length or path depth is very high, there may be possibility of decay, possibility of web decay. That's why while creating a URL, so always a webmaster keep in his mind that preferably short URLs will not lead to more decay. So what we have proved in our studies, and also the previous researcher also found the same concept. The authors need to cite the scholarly information from the authentic web documents. That's very important while citing any website in the reference list. They need to check the accessibility status of URL before citing them in their scholarly work. If a URL citation is not accessible, then the author may use any internet archive like a Pandora or a wayback machine or any other internet archive to recover the web source, and then recover website and URL must be clearly mentioned in the reference list. It is suggested that the editors or editorial staff of any journal need to check the URL citation cited in the article submitted by them. So simply they should not accept the article. They have to see whether all the web citations cited in the reference are accessible. If they are not accessible, they have to check in their level, and later those revised URL must be included in the scholarly literature. The URL check should confirm the accessibility, and this shall be one of the criteria for the acceptance of the article. So they have to accept after checking the URLs. So this must be the criteria to accept the article in a scholarly journal. So at the end, I would like to say what is the role of LIS professionals. So we have more responsibility on our shoulder, because we have to teach others. The people from physics, chemistry, mathematics or other subjects, they may have good knowledge in their subjects. While citing the web citations, they may not follow the style manual or standards. That's why we have more responsibility. We need to conduct the orientation program among the faculty, research scholars, or even students on how to cite a web resource in scholarly literature. We have to clearly mention, we have to clearly train them how to cite a website or a web resource in a scholarly literature, so that it should be accessed forever. And we have to teach, and we have to try what exactly the decay of web resources and what are the implications on the scholarly content. If a cited URL has been decayed, definitely it will have a more impact on the scholarly community. That's why we have to clearly mention, so what is the impact of decay on the scholarly content of scholarly literature, so that they will think of it and they will clearly mention the accessible websites in the reference list. And we have to teach about the link checkers, because most of the faculty, they may not aware of these link checkers, and we try our level best to try or orient to know these link checkers, so that they will understand how to use link checkers, how to check the accessibility of the web citations using various link checkers. And of course, it's very important to orient regarding the internet archives, because internet archive is a wonderful thing where it can store huge amount of data in its database, where anybody can access easily the decayed or vanished citations using the internet archives. That's why it's a need of the hour to teach about the internet archives to the faculty or the students, or even the project students or research scholars in the university setup or even the college setup. And we should teach them how to recover the decayed web citations using the internet archives. And also we must tell them how to archive the URLs or the websites in the web archives, because at the end I have clearly mentioned there is an option in the web archives, especially in the wayback machine, to store manually the URL of various websites. So whenever the people design a website and host it on the web, they must know how to store safely in the web archives, because after some time, because of the poor maintenance, the web may be disappeared from the World Wide Web. Then there must be an option to access the same from the web, because that is possible when a webmaster or a person saves the URL or a website address in the web archive, so that it is our responsibility to orient regarding archiving of web resources in the web archives. So with this, I would like to put full stop to my lecture. Internet archives plays a significant role in archiving the website. There is no doubt in it. However, it recovers, but we have seen only 50 to 60% of the decayed websites have been recovered. So it's a some of the demerits of web archives. It covers only a portion of the web. It will not frequently monitor the changes in the content of the web page, because we have seen the web page was launched to the web in the year 2012 or 13. From 2012 to 2020, hardly 200 to 300 times it was archived. Okay, so this is one of the demerits of the web archive, and we need to save web page to archive manually. Of course, it is very important whenever you.
So thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, Sampath Kumar, for a very, very beautiful and very novel topic that you have chosen. There are very high appreciation from in the question and answers also. Some of the cross-domain professors have also participated in this meeting and they have appreciated this. And one of the physics professor has cited that this is the most innovative and good idea. And it is more helpful for those who are using the web services and all. So with this, I thank you very much, sir. I now